ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaskar my dear friends, in this video I am going to discuss and explain Subala Upanishad. The Subala Upanishad is also called Subalopanishad, is a Upanishad written in Sanskrit. It is attached to the Shukla Yajurveda and classified as one of the Samanya Upanishad of Hinduism. Samanya means general. So it comes in the category of minor Upanishad. The Subala Upanishad together with the relatively older Mudgala Upanishad are two Upanishads that discuss the Purusha Sukta of Rigveda, both notable for asserting that Narayana, Vishnu is the Brahman, highest reality, supreme being. The Subala Upanishad text differs from Mudgala Upanishad in presenting more verses of the Purusha Sukta, being longer, and for declaring Narayana to be the father, the mother, the refuge, the friend, and the goal of every living being. The text is notable as the one frequently referred to by Ramana, the 11th century proponent of Visishta Advaita, qualified Monism school of Vedanta philosophy, and a major influence on Vaishnavism in the 2nd millennium CE. Some modern scholars suggest that the Narayana theology of the Subala Upanishad may have been the decisive impetus to Ramanuja's Visishta Advaita philosophy. The author or composition date of Subala Upanishad is unknown. Hans Hock states that it is a late Upanishadic text. Manuscripts of this text are also found titled as Subalopanishad in the Telugu language anthology of 108 Upanishads of the Muktika canon narrated by Rama to Hanuman. It is listed at number 30. The Subala Upanishad is structured into 16 chapters and deals a range of topics including cosmology, physiology, psychology, and metaphysics. Now we'll talk about cosmology. The text opens as a conversation between Vedic sage Raikwa, Subala, and Prajapati. The former is credited in the Chandogya Upanishad for some work Vidya. Raikwa asks about the origin of universe with the question, what was at first? The answer that follows in the text mirrors the Nasdya Sukta Hyman 10.1 to 9 of the Rigveda. In both texts, Prajapati replies that there was neither Sat, beingness, nor Asat, not beingness, nor Sat, Asat, co-mingling of both Sat and Asat. This Vedic cosmogony asserts that the universe started from nothing, a state where neither spirit nor matter nor a mingling of either existed. The Subala Upanishad asserts that in this nothingness existed the absolute Prabrahma from which darkness emerged. This account resonates with the verses of the Purusha Sukta hymen 10.90 of the Rigveda. The text that from the darkness emerged ether or space, in turn air emerged from ether, fire emerged from air, water emerged from fire, and earth emerged from water. From earth emerged the egg, which split to create atmosphere and land. Between atmosphere and land emerged the divine person Purusha with 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, and 1,000 feet, who created death. The Brahma then created 7 sons filled with truth called Prajapatis. Out of the divine Purusha's mouth emerged the Brahmins, from the arms emerged the Kshatriyas, from the thighs emerged the Vaishyas, and from the feet emerged the Shudras. From his mind emerged the moon, from the eyes came the sun, from his heart came the life force prana. Chapter 2 asserts that from the apana of the divine Purusha came the yakshas, rakshasas, domestic animals, and gandharvas. From his bones emerged the mountains, while the herbs and trees came from his hair. His forehead and anger became Rudra, while his exhalation became the Vedas, the Sutras, the grammar, the Nyaya logic, the prosody, the Dharma, and all human knowledge, and all beings. Atma, soul, emerged as divine light, absorbing everything in the universe. He divided his own self, Atma of Purusha, into 2, thus creating women and men. The text asserts that along with the cycle of creation is competing cycle of destruction, wherein Vaisvanara destroys and returns everything back to darkness, where there is neither Sat nor Asat nor Sat Asat. Attaining Atma, soul. The undaunted man never grieves, as he knows Atma to be great, all-pervading, and unborn. Some attain this Atma by the 6 means of truth, charity, austerity, of non-injury to any creature, of Brahmacharya, of indifference to worldly objects, and there are no other means. This is from chapter 3 of Subala Upanishad. Virtuous life as means to self-knowledge. Chapter 3 elaborates the path to moksha, liberation through realization of the ultimate reality and being the Atma and the Brahma. Atma and Brahma, asserts the text, is unborn, uncaused, devoid of form or nature that can be sensed, is imperishable, neither short nor long, neither definable nor obscure, neither provable nor shrouded, neither manifested nor measurable, neither with interior nor with exterior. One attains this Atma and self-knowledge through virtues which are 6 in number: truthfulness, charity, austerity, non-injury to others, Brahmacharya, and renunciation. The text then repeats the axiology found in section 5.2 of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, referring to Dhamma, self-restraint, Dana, charity, and Daya, compassion. States of consciousness. Chapter 4 states that the soul resides in the heart of a living being, the hara, in a 10-petaled lotus. The heart feeds the 72,000 vessels in the body nadis. The immortal soul, the innermost center of one's existence, is ever present. This heart is spiritual heart here, not the biological heart. As the present as the resplendent effulgence, whether one is in an awake state of consciousness or dreaming in one's sleep. This section of the Subala Upanishad resonates with the doctrine presented in the much more ancient Chandogya Upanishad section 8.1. Organs in the human body are divine. Chapter 5 asserts one by one that 14 organs in the human body and ahankara, personality, are divine. He who moves in these organs and binds them in the fearless, sorrowless, infinite Atma, soul, self. For example, states of the text, the eye is the deity Surya and the source of knowledge and is thus linked to the soul. The tongue and mouth are Varuna, the hands are Indra, the feet are Vishnu, the mind is Moon, Ahankara, personality is Rudra, and the sexual organs are Prajapati. One must meditate on one's soul, states the text. This soul is the all-knowledge, all-knowing ruler of all these organs and the source of happiness. The text asserts that soul is what is discussed by the Vedic text and scriptures. Narayana, the basis. Chapters 6 and 7 states that Narayana, Vishnu, is the one divine alone. The directional gods, all devas, time and the aeons, the planetary systems, the climatic phenomena, the 14 nadis, all organs of living beings, parents, siblings, fire and ghee, clarified butter are identified as manifestations of Narayana. Narayana is the radiant indwelling spirit in everyone and in every creature, asserts the text. Dissolution. Chapter 8 through 12 means from chapter 8 to 12 states that everything except the Narayana soul is transitory and subject to dissolution. Everything merges back into the immortal, fearless, sorrowless, endless, seedless Brahma. Chapter 10 asserts that Atma is Brahma and everything rests in one's own soul. Be childlike. Balen tishta bal sobhavo sange nirvadev monen panditen nirvadhikartayo labhyate. Childlike simplicity ought to be one's outlook on life, unattached, innocent, blameless, silent with aloneness. This is from chapter 13. Chapter 13 asserts that the child is a state of innocence and non-attachment, and this is what one must cultivate. The child knows of no classes or stages of life and learns innocently. So also states the text is the state of moksha, liberation for a sage who knows no fear, worries, cravings, anger or falsehood. Gradual dissolution in the Supreme. Chapter 14 to 16 assert that with self-knowledge a person dissolved into the Supreme, the Narayana. In this state there is neither Sat nor Asat nor Asat. So this was the general discussion of Subala Upanishad. Now I will go chapter wise in detail. I have already discussed about the main theme of this Upanishad. Now I will discuss the Upanishad chapter wise. First chapter or part 1. Then he Raikwa. Raikwa was a sage and he asked questions from Brahmacharya. Then he Raikwa asked what was at first, to which he the Lord replied, there was neither Sat nor Asat nor Sat Asat. From it tamas, darkness was evolved. From tamas came bhutadi. From bhutadi came akash. From akash vayu. From vayu agni. From agni apas water. And from apas prithvi earth. Then it became an egg. After remaining so for one divine year, it split into two and became earth below, the akash above, and in the midst, infinite Purusha of a divine form of myriads of heads, eyes, feet, and hands. Prior to the bhutas, elements, he had evolved mritu, time or death of three letters, three heads and 3 feet, and having a khanda parshu, broken axe. To him Brahma the Purusha spoke. He entered Brahma himself and evolved mentally the 7 sons, and these Havirats or sons, as well as the 7 Prajapatis, progenitors, Brahmanas, were born from his mouth, Akshatriyas from his hands, Vaishyas from his thighs, and from the feet were born the Sudras. The moon was born from his manas mind, the sun from his eyes, Vayu from his ears, and pranas from his heart. Thus all things were born. Khand 2, Chapter 2. From Apana came Nisadas, Yaksas, Rakshasas, and Gandharvas. From his bones arose the mountains, from his hairs arose the herbs and the trees. From his forehead Rudra was born through his anger. The breath of this great being became the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. Shiksha, the science of the proper pronunciation and articulation of sounds. Kalpa, the science of methodology. Vyakarna, grammar. Nirukta, glossarial explanation of obsolete and other terms in Vedas. Chandas, prosody or Vedic meter. Jyotisha, astrology. Nyaya, logic. Mimamsa, including rituals and Vedanta. Dharmasastras, commentaries, glosses, and all things. This Atma, or the self of Purusha, is Hirane Jyoti, or golden or effulgent light into which all the universe is absorbed. He divided Atma, his self, into two moieties. Out of one moiety, the woman was created, and out of the other, man. Having become a Deva, he created the Devas. Having become a Rishi, he created the Rishis. Also, he created Yakshas, Rakshasas, Gandharvas, wild and domestic beasts, and others such as cows, bulls, mares, and horses, sea asses and asses, and Visvambhra the spotter, and Visvambhra the earth, becoming Vasavnara fire at the end of creation. He burnt up all objects. The indissolution Prithvi was absorbed in Apas, Apas in Agni, Agni in Vayu, Vayu in Akas, Akas in Indriyas, organs, Indriyas into Tanmatras, rudimentary properties, Tanmatras into Bhutadi, Bhutadi into Mahat, Mahat into Avyakta, Avyakta into Aksara, the indestructible, Akshara into Tamas, darkness, and the tamas becomes one with the Supreme Lord. And then there is neither Sat nor Asat, nor Sat Asat. This is the teaching of the Nirvana, and this is the teaching of the Vedas. Yeah, this is the teaching of the Vedas. Khanda 3, Chapter 3. At first there was Asat, unborn, non-existent, unspotted, soundless, touchless, formless, tasteless, odorless, and decayless. The undaunted man never grieves, as he knows Atma to be great, all-pervading, and unborn. It, Atma, is pranaless, mouthless, earless, tongueless, manasless, tejasless, eyeless, nameless, gotraless, or clanless, headless, handless, fitless, non unctuous, bloodless, non-measurable, neither long nor short, neither gross nor atomic, neither great nor small, endless, indescribable, non-returnable, non-luminous, non-hidden, having neither inside nor outside, neither eating anything nor being eaten by others. Someone out of many attains to this Atma by the six means of Satya, truth, Dana, charity, tapas, religious austerities, non-injury to any creature, celibacy, and complete indifference to worldly objects, and there are no other means. Whoever feels happy with the thought, I know that That learned person's prana will never get out of his body at the moment of death, but will become absorbed in Brahma, and being absorbed in Brahma, he attains the state of Brahma itself as he who knows this. Khanda 4, Chapter 4. In the middle of the heart is a red fleshy mass in which is the Dahara lotus. Like the lotus, it opens into many petals. There are 10 openings in the heart. The different kinds of pranas are located there. Whenever he Atma is united with prana, he sees cities with rivers and other variegated things. When united with Vyana, he sees devas and rishis. When united with Apana, he sees yaksas, rakshasas and gandharvas. When united with Udana, he perceives the celestial world. Devas, Skanda, Kartikeya, or the six-faced Mars and Janta, Indra's son. When united with Samana, he sees the celestial world and the treasures of Kubera. When united with Rambha, a nadi hereafter given out, he sees whatever is seen or not seen, heard or not heard, eaten or not eaten, asat or sat, and all else. There are 10 nadis, in each of these are 71, and these become 72,000 branch nadis. When Atma sleeps therein, it produces sound, but when Atma sleeps in the second kosha or sheath, then it sees this world, and the higher as also knows all the sounds. This is spoken of as samprasada, deep sleep rest. Then prana protects the body. The nadis are full of blood of the colors green, blue, yellow, red, and white. Now this Dahara lotus has many petals like a lily, like a hair divided into 1,000 parts. The nadis called Hita are. The divine Atma sleeps in the Akash of the heart, in the supreme kosha or Anandamaya sheath. Sleeping there, it has no desire, no dream, no deva world, no yajnas or sacrificer, no mother or father, no relative, no kinsman, no thief or no Brahma slayer. Its body is tejas, resplendent, effulgence, and of the nature of nectar or the immortal. It is as if in sport a water lotus, when he returns again to the waking state by the same way he quitted or went in before to the heart, he is Samrat. Thus says he. Khand 5, Chapter 5. That which joins one place or center with another is the nadis which bind them. The eye is adhyatma pertaining to the body. The visible objects are adhibhuta pertaining to the elements, and the sun Ista Devata spiritual. The nadis form their bond or connect them. He who moves in the eye, in the visible, in the sun, in the nadis, in prana, in vijnana, in ananda, in the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The ear is Adhyatma, the audible Adhibhuta, and Dik, the quarters is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the ear, in the audible, in the quarters, in the nadis, in pranas, in vijnana, in ananda, in the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The nose is Adhyatma, the odoriferous Adhibhuta, and the earth is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the nose, the odoriferous, the earth, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, and the tongue is Adhyatma, the testable Adhibhuta, and Varuna is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the tongue, the testable Varuna, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The skin is Adhyatma, the Tenjiferous Adhibhuta, and the Vayu is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the skin, the Tenjiferous, the Vayu, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Vak, speech is Adhyatma. That which is acted upon by Vak is Adhibhuta, and Agni is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Vak, that which is acted upon by Vak, Agni, the nadis, prana, vijnana, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The hand is Adhyatma, that which can be handled is Adhibhuta, and Indra is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the hand, that which can be handled by it, Indra, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The feet is Adhyatma, that which is walked upon is Adhibhuta, and Vishnu or Upendra is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the feet, that which is walked upon Vishnu, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The anus is Adhyatma, the excreta is Adhibhuta, and Mrityu is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves the anus, the excreta, Mrityu, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Manas is Adhyatma, the thinkable is Adhibhuta, and the moon is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the Manas, the thinkable, the moon, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Buddhi is Adhyatma. The certainly knowable is Adhibhuta, and Brahma is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Buddhi, the certainly knowable Brahma, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akas of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Ankara is Adhyatma, that which is acted upon by Ahankara is Adhibhuta, and Rudra is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Ahankara, that which is acted upon by Ahankara, Rudra, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akas of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Chitta is Adhyatma, that which is acted upon by Chitta, producing fluctuation of thought, is Adhibhuta, and Akshitrajana is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Chitta, that which is acted upon by Chitta, Akshitrajana. The nadis prana, vijnana, ananda, the akash, the Akas of that is Atma, it is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. The genitals is Adhyatma, the secretion is Adhibhuta, and Prajapati is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the genitals, secretion, within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Manas is Adhyatma, the thinkable is Adhibhuta, and the moon is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in the Manas, the thinkable, the moon, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akas of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Buddhi is Adhyatma. The certainly knowable is Adhibhuta, and Brahma is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Buddhi, the certainly knowable Brahma, the nadis, prana, vijnana, ananda, the akas of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Ahankara is Adhyatma, that which is acted upon by Ahankara is Adhibhuta, and Rudra is Adhidevta. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Ahankara, that which is acted upon by Ahankara, Rudra, the nadis, prana, vijnana, anand, the akas of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. Chitta is Adhyatma, that which is acted upon by Chitta, producing fluctuation of thought is Adhibhuta, and Aksitrajana is Adhidevata. The nadis bind them. He who moves in Chitta, that which is acted upon by Chitta Aksitrajana. The nadis Prana, Vidyana, Ananda, the Akas of the heart, and within all else, that is Atma. It is that which should be worshipped. It is without old age, death, fear, sorrow, or end. He is the knower of all, the Lord of all, the ruler of all, the one latent in all, the one worshipped for happiness of all, but himself not worshipping or seeking any happiness, the one worshipped by all, the Vedas and other books, and to which all this is food, but who does not become the food of another. Moreover, the one who, as the I, is the ordainer of all, the one who as Annamaya is Bhutatma, the one who as Pranamaya is Indriyatma, the one as Manomaya is Sankalpatma, the one who as Vijnanamaya is the Kalatma, the one who as Anandmaya is Layatma, is one and not dual. How can it be said to be mortal? How can it be said that there is not immortality in it? It is neither internal prajna nor external prajna nor both, nor is it to know anything. Thus is the exposition of nirvana, and thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Yeah, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Khand 6, chapter 6. At first there was not anything in the least. These creatures were born through no root, no sport, but the divine Deva, the one Narayana. The eye and the visible are Narayana, the ear and the audible are Narayana, the tongue and the tastable are Narayana, the nose and the smellable are Narayana, the skin and the tangible are Narayana, Manas and that which is acted upon by it are Narayana, Buddhi and that which is acted upon by it are Narayana, Ahankara and that which is acted upon by it are Narayana, Chitta and that which is acted upon by it are Narayana, Vak and that which is spoken are Narayana, the hand and that which is lifted are Narayana, the leg and that which is walked upon are Narayana, the anus and the excreted are Narayana, the genitals and the enjoyment of pleasure are Narayana, the originator and the ordiner as also the agent and the causer of changes are the divine Deva Narayana only. Aditya, Rudras, Maruts, Vasus, Aswins, and Arke, Yajas, and Sama, Mantras, Agni, clarified butter, and oblation. All these are Narayana. The origin and the combination are the divine Deva Narayana only. Mother, father, brother, residence, asylum, friends, and dependents are Narayana only. The divine Nadi is known as Viraja, Sudarshana, Jita, Somya, Mogha, Kumara, Amrita, Satya, Sumadhyama, Nasira, Sisira, Sura, Surya, and Basavati, 14 nadis in all, that which thunders, sings, and rains, with Varuna, Aryama, Sun, Chandrama, Chandrama's moon, Kala, Pat, Kavi, Sukra, the creator Brahma, and Prajapati, Indra, Kala, or time of days, half days, Kalpa, the upper and the directions, all these are Narayana. That which was and will be is this Purusha only. Like the eye ever see the supreme seat of Vishnu, Brahmanas who are ever spiritually awakened praise in diverse ways and illuminate the supreme abode of Vishnu. Thus is the exposition to the attaining of nirvana. Thus is the teaching of the Vedas. Yeah, thus is the teaching of the Vedas. Khanda number 7. Within the body is the one eternal Aja, unborn, located in the cave of the heart. Earth is his body, though he moves in the earth, earth does not know him. Waters are his body, though he moves in the waters, waters do not know him. Tejas is his body, though he moves in Tejas, Tejas does not know him. Vayu is his body, though he moves in Vayu, Vayu does not know him. Akash is his body, though he moves in Akash, Akash does not know him. Manas is his body, though he moves in Manas, Manas does not know him. Buddhi is his body, though he moves in Buddhi, Buddhi does not know him. Ahankara is his body, though he moves in Ahankara, Ahankara does not know him. Chitta is his body, though he moves in Chitta, Chitta does not know him. Avyakta is his body, though he moves in Avyakta, Avyakta does not know him. Akshara is his body, though he moves in Akshara, Akshara does not know him. Mirtu, death is his body, though he moves in Mirtu, Mirtu does not know him. Such as one is the Atma within all creatures, the remover of all sins, and the divine Deva, the one Narayana. This is knowledge. This knowledge was imparted by Narayana to Apantratma, who in turn imparted it to Brahma. Brahma imparted it to Ghora Angiraj. He imparted it to Raikwa, who in turn imparted it to Rama. Rama imparted it to all creatures. This is the teaching of Nirvana. This is the teaching of the Vedas. Yeah, this is the teaching of the Vedas. Khand 8, Chapter 8. The Atma of all which is immaculate is located within the cave in the body. Atma which lives in the midst of the body filled with fat, flesh and phlegm in a seat very closely shut up with shining many colored walls resembling a Gandharva city, and with the subtle essence going out of it to other parts of the body, which seed may be likened to a plantain flower and is ever agitated like a water bubble. This Atma is of an unthinkable form. The divine Deva, associateless and pure, has Tejas as its body is of all forms, the Lord of all, the unthinkable and the bodiless, placed within the cave, immortal, shining, and bliss itself. He is a wise person who cognizes Atma thus, and not one who does not do so. Khanda 9, Chapter 9. Once Raikwa questioned him, Lord, thus, O Lord, in whom does everything disappear or merge? He replied thus, that which or who disappears in the eye becomes the eye only. That which disappears in the visible becomes the visible only. That which disappears in the sun becomes sun only. That which disappears in the Virat becomes Virat only. That which disappears in Prana becomes Prana only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in Ananda becomes Ananda only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the ear becomes ear itself. That which disappears in the audible becomes the audible only. That which disappears in dick space becomes dick only. That which disappears in the Sudarshana discus becomes Sudarshana only. That which disappears in Apana becomes Apana only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in Ananda becomes Ananda only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the nose becomes a nose only. That which disappears in the odoriferous becomes odoriferous only. That which disappears in Prithvi becomes Prithvi only. That which disappears in Jitam, victory, becomes victory only. That which disappears in Vyana becomes Vyana only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the mouth becomes the mouth only. That which disappears in the tasted becomes the tasted only. That which disappears in Varuna becomes Varuna only. That which disappears in Somya, moon or Mercury becomes Somya only. That which disappears in Udana becomes Udana only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the skin becomes the skin only. That which disappears in touch becomes touch only. That which disappears in Vayu becomes Vayu only. That which disappears in cloud becomes cloud only. That which disappears in Sansara becomes Samana becomes Samana only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in walk becomes walk only. That which disappears in speech becomes speech only. That which disappears in Agni becomes Agni only. That which disappears in Kumara becomes Kumara only. That which disappears in hostility becomes hostility itself. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the hand becomes the hand only. That which disappears in that which is lifted by hand becomes that which is lifted by hand, and that which disappears in Indra becomes Indra only. That which disappears in the nectar becomes the nectar only. That which disappears in Mukhya becomes Mukhya only, that which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only, that which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only, that which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the leg becomes the leg only. That which disappears in that which is walked upon becomes that which is walked upon. That which disappears in Vishnu becomes Vishnu only. That which disappears in Satya becomes Satya only. That which disappears in the suppression of the breath and voice becomes the suppression of the breath and voice. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the anus becomes the anus only. That which disappears in Mritu becomes Mritu only. That which disappears in spirituous liquor becomes spirituous liquor only. That which disappears in hurricane becomes hurricane only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in the genitals become the genitals only. That which disappears in that which is enjoyed become that which is enjoyed. That which disappears in that which is Prajapati becomes Prajapati only. That which disappears in Nasinam becomes Nasinam only. That which disappears in Kurmira becomes Kurmira only. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana only. That which disappears in bliss becomes bliss only. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya only. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in Manas becomes Manas itself. That which disappears in the thinkable becomes the thinkable itself. That which disappears in the moon becomes the moon itself. That which disappears in Sisu becomes Sisu only. That which disappears in Shena becomes Siena itself. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana itself. That which disappears in Ananda becomes Ananda itself. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya itself. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in Buddhi becomes Buddhi itself. That which disappears in the certainly knowable becomes the certainly knowable itself. That which disappears in Brahma becomes Brahma himself. That which disappears in Krishna becomes Krishna himself. That which disappears in Surya becomes Surya itself. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana itself. That which disappears in Ananda becomes Ananda itself. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya itself. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in Ahankara becomes Ahankara itself. That which disappears in that which is acted upon by Ahankara becomes that itself. That which disappears in Rudra becomes Rudra himself. That which disappears in Asura becomes Asura itself. That which disappears in Savita becomes Savita itself. That which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana itself. That which disappears in Ananda becomes Ananda itself. That which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya itself. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. Then he continued, that which disappears in Chitta becomes Chitta itself. That which disappears in that which is acted upon by Chitta becomes that itself. That which disappears in Akshetra Jana becomes Akshetra Jana itself. That which disappears in Bhasavati becomes Bhasavati itself, that which disappears in Naga becomes Naga itself, that which disappears in Vijnana becomes Vijnana itself, that which disappears in Ananda becomes Ananda itself, that which disappears in Turiya becomes Turiya itself. All these attain that which is deathless, fearless, sorrowless, endless, and seedless. He who knows this as seedless in this manner becomes himself seedless. He is neither born nor dies, nor is deluded, nor split, nor burnt, nor cut. Yeah, he does not feel angry, and hence he is said to be Atma, capable of burning all. Such an Atma is neither attained by 100 sayings, nor by the reading of many scriptures, nor by mere intelligence, not by hearing from others, nor by understanding, nor observances of the orders of life, nor by any other means than the following. Devoted Brahmanas who repeat the Vedas according to rules and who worship him with praise attain him. He who is quiescent, self-controlled, indifferent to worldly objects and resigned, having centered his mind on Atma, sees Atma and becomes one with the Atma of all, as also he who knows this. Khanda 10. Then Raikwa asked him, O Lord, where do all these things rest? He replied, in the worlds of Rasatala or neither worlds. In what are these Rasatala's worlds? Woven warm or woof? He replied, in the worlds of Bhu. In what are these worlds of Bhu? Woven, warp and woof. He replied, in the worlds of Bhu. In what are these Bhuva worlds? Woven, warp and woof. In the worlds of Swaha. In what are these Swaha worlds? Woven, warp and woof. In the worlds of Maha. In what are these Maha worlds woven, warp and woof? In the Janaloka. In what are the Jana worlds woven, warp and woof? In the Tapoloka. In what are these Tapolokas woven, warp and woof? In the Satyaloka. In what are these Satya worlds woven, warp and woof? In the Prajapati Loka. In what are these Prajapati worlds woven, warp and woof? In the Brahmaloka. In what are these Brahma worlds woven, warp and woof? In the Sarvaloka. In what are these Sarvalokas woven, warp and woof? In Atma, which is Brahma like beads in a rosary, warp wise and woof wise. Then he said, all these rest in Atma, and he who knows this becomes Atma itself. Thus is the exposition of Nirvana. Thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Yeah, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Khanda 11. Again Raikwa asked him, O Lord, what is the seat of Atma, which is replete with Vijnana, and how does it leave the body and pervade the universe? To this he replied, there is a mass of red flesh in the middle of the heart. In it there is a lotus called Dahara. It buds forth in many petals like a water lily. In the middle of it is an ocean, Samudra. In its midst is a coca bird. In it there are four nadis. They are Rama, Arama, Icha, and Punarbhava. Of these, Rama leads a man of virtue to a happy world. Arama leads one of sins into the world of sins, passing through Icha Nadi when one gets whatever he remembers. Through Punarbhava, he splits upon the seats. After splitting open the seats, he splits open the skull of the head, then he splits open Prithvi, then Apas, then Tejas, then Vayu, then Akash, then splits open Manas, then Bhutadi, then Mahat, then Avyakta, then Akshara, then he splits open Mrityu and Mrityu becomes one with the Supreme God. Beyond this, there is neither Sat nor Asat nor Sat Asat. Thus is the exposition of Nirvana and thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Yeah, this is the exposition of Vedas. Khanda 12. Anna, food came from Narayana. It was first cooked in Brahmaloka in the Maha Samvartaka fire. Again it was cooked in the sun. Again it was cooked in Karvyadi lit, the fire that burns raw flesh, etc. Again it was cooked in Jawal Kila, the flaming Kila. Then it becomes pure and not stale or fresh. One should eat whatever has fallen to his lot and without begging. One should never beg any food. Khanda 13. The wise man should conduct himself like a lad with the nature of a child, without company, blameless, silent, and wise, and without exercising any authority. This description of Kaivalya is stated by Prajapati. Having found with certitude the supreme seat, one should dwell under a tree with torn clothes, unaccompanied, single, and engaged in samadhi. He should be longing after the attaining of Atma, and having attained this object, he is desireless. He desires His desires have decayed, he fears none, though he finds the cause of death in such a as elephants, lions, gadflies, mosquitoes, ichenuyuma, serpents, yaksas, rakshasas, and gandharvas. He will stand like a tree. Though Though cut down, he will neither get angry nor tremble. He will stand or remain like a lotus. Though pierced, he will neither get angry nor tremble. He will he will he will stand like Akash. Though struck, he will neither get angry nor tremble. He will stand by Satya, truth, since Atma is Satya. Prithvi is the heart or center of all odors. Apas is the heart of all taste. Tejas is the heart of all forms. Vayu is the heart of all touch, Akash is the heart of all sounds, Avyakta is the heart of Gitas or sounds, Mrityu is the heart of all sattvas, and Mrityu becomes one with the Supreme, and beyond him there is neither Sat nor Asat nor Sat Asat. Thus is the exposition of Nirvana, thus is the exposition of the Vedas, yeah, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Khanda 14. Prithvi is the food and Apas is the eater. Apas is the food and Jyotis or fire is the eater. Jyotis is the food and Vayu is the eater. Vayu is the food and Akash is the eater, and Akash is the food and the Indriyas organs are the eaters. Indriyas are the food and Manas is the eater. Manas is the food and Buddhi is the eater. Buddhi is the food and Avyakta is the eater. Avyakta is the food and Akshara is the eater, Akshara is the food, and Mrityu is the eater, and Mrityu becomes one with the Supreme. Beyond him there is neither Sat nor Asat nor Sat Asat. Thus is the exposition of Nirvana, and thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Yeah, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Khand 15. Again, Raikwa asked, O Lord, when this Vijnana Ghana goes out of the body or the universe, what does it burn and how? To which he replied, when it goes away, it burns prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, varambha, mukhya, antrayama, prabhanjana, Kumara, Sayana, Krishna, Sveta, and Naga. Then it burns Prithvi, Apas, Tejas, Vayu, and Akash. Then it burns the waking, the dreaming, the dreamless, sleeping, and fourth state, as well as the Mahalokas and worlds higher. Then it burns the Loka, the highest world forming a limit to the other worlds. Then it burns dharma and adharma, then it burns that which is beyond, is sunless, limitless, and worldless. Then it burns Mahat, it burns Avyakta, it burns Aksara, it burns Myrtu, and Myrtu becomes one with the great Lord. Beyond him there is neither Sat nor Asat nor Sat Asat. Thus is the exposition of Nirvana, and thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Yeah, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Khand 16. The Subala Brahma Upanishad should neither be given out nor taught to one who has not controlled his passions, who has no sons, who has not gone to a guru, and having become his disciple has not resided with him for a year, and whose family and conduct are not known. These doctrines should be taught to him who has supreme devotion to the Lord and as much to his guru. Then these truths shine in this great soul. Thus is the exposition of nirvana, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Yeah, thus is the exposition of the Vedas. Now these 16 chapters are completed. Now briefly I will give the gist of this Upanishad at the end. Dear friends, after going through this Upanishad, you may feel that nothing is understandable. Just listen, my dear friends. Atma and Brahma are the same. Brahma is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Likewise, Atma is also omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Our body is made of matter. Our body is made of 5 elements. These elements are called Mahabhutas in the Vedic language. Dear friends, all our body parts, all our organs, they are just the physical objects, but the power they obtain from the Atma. So Atma is each and every cell, tissue, organ system, endocrine glands. Every part of our body receives power from Atma. And remember, my dear friends, as this world is nothing but this world is born out of Brahma. When we talk about Brahma, likewise we talk about Atma. Everything in this human body is nothing but Atma, because every cell of our body receives power from Atma. So in this Upanishad, the center point is Atma. Everything is born out of Atma, and finally everything merges into Atma. And dear friends, in our day-to-day life, we deal with the world through our mind and ego. And dear friends, mind and ego are born out of Atma. Mind and ego, they receive power from Atma. And finally, they merge into Atma. When mind and ego are destroyed and they merge into Atma, that is the final state of enlightenment, or we can say liberation. So the gist of this Upanishad is that we should concentrate on Atma. We must be aware of Atma. When we forget about everything and attain our full attention to Atma, then that means we are leading to the state of self-realization, finally to liberation. So there is nothing difficult, only thing we have to remember that everything is born out of Brahma and everything finally merges into Brahm. This is the gist. And Brahm and Atma are not different. Thank you, my dear friend. Thank you. Namaste.